welcome to The Huddle Is Real. I am your host, Kyle Dunlap. I don't know how long this will go. It's the first inaugural episode, so things are still in the loop, and I'm learning to work with the app, making adjustments and all that stuff, and I'm a bit high-tech illiterate, so it's a learning curve for me. If you have any suggestions for how this works out, feel free to let me know. I will be posting on Facebook and YouTube. I will be having a YouTube channel, so if you want to go to the YouTube and you can kind of watch everything as it progresses, that is fine. You will have ways to get a hold of us. I'm going to have a phone line, so you can call into the show. You can send me emails. I'm going to set up an email for the show. You can just leave comments on Facebook. You can message me on Facebook. The same with YouTube. You can leave your comments, suggestions. You can tell me to eat shit and die. I don't care. I'm mainly going to stick to the Browns for now. That's my team. We're hot, messy garbage every year in and year out, since 1999. So we'll start with that. But I would like to spread out into the NFL, all of the NFL. Probably hit into college football at some point. Saying a lot. So if we can possibly go into, if you want to talk basketball, baseball, I'm not against that. Hockey, I don't care. Maybe I can make multiple shows. We can have this, The Huddle Is Real, the Browns, and then, have a segment, or just have a segment in it where we talk around the league, college, yada, yada, yada. So let's begin, I guess I shall say. A little about me. I'm a Browns fan. I am a Oregon Ducks fan, a Cavaliers fan, in India. Yeah, I know. It's pretty much Cleveland and then the Ducks. I don't want to throw hate out there, but not a fan of Ohio State. Great football team, great program. Urban Meyer's a hell of a coach, but just not for me. Let's see. That's pretty much it. I used to have a podcast, the Cursed Podcast. You can still go and listen to it on SoundCloud and iTunes. I believe it's still up. I think the last time I checked it was. It ran for a little over a year, I think. I was the host. I was starting out as the co-host, took over as the host, which I think was better. The first caller today will probably disagree with me, but he's ignorant, so we don't need to listen to him. Anyway, let's jump into this because I just rambled on for 3 minutes about bullshit that no one really gives a crap about. So let's go. This is where I would probably... It's the intro, so I'd probably take questions. It's the intro to the show, so I don't really have any emails or anything set up, but I had a couple people message me and ask me random questions, so we can get into that. My old co-host, Adam Labar, you can hit him up on Twitter at The Cursed Podcast or at CLE via AKR on Twitter. You can hit him up on Facebook and all that jazz. So he asked me, if the Browns sign Kirk Cousins, do they still need to draft a quarterback? That's kind of a loaded question. I don't think Kirk Cousins is going to come to Cleveland. I don't think he has the balls to do that. He seems like one of those guys like, oh, I want to go to the best situation, and he always and then all the rumors about legacy and where he can grow his legacy. I don't know why Cleveland wouldn't be the number one pick for a legacy, because if you come to Cleveland and win, man, they'll build a statue of you the first year, and that's just the way that goes. There's some random guy parked outside of my house right now that's making me a bit skittish. I wish I could pause this and go out and yell at him, tell him to F off, but I'll just keep an eye on him while we do this. If we sign Kirk Cousins, obviously we're going to be paying him 30 mil a year. That's a scotch amount of money, and I don't feel it's necessary to sign draft a quarterback at #1 overall because Kirk Cousins is still relatively young. What is he? 29 years old. He's going to have that fat contract, so I wouldn't take him. I would just take pieces that you can build around him. So then a Barkley could come into play there. Or if you really wanted to go just defense and just build that defense from the ground up. But we also have free agency for that. So we got plenty of time to discuss free agency and the draft. So Kirk Cousins comes to Cleveland on some magical whim, which I highly doubt. No, I wouldn't take one. As much as I would like to. Maybe you could take one later. I don't know how much I trust Kaiser. Maybe he would develop. He's still super young, 21 years old, youngest quarterback, one of the youngest players in the league. So maybe you could take a quarterback late, like that kid from Richmond, Kyle Laeta. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He looked really good in the Senior Bowl. I liked what I saw out of him. Hogan and Kaiser or Kessler are more than likely gone, which I don't know why they wouldn't be. Hogan, I would keep, possibly hold on to him. Kessler's a no. He's no bueno. He's gone. So that's how I would go with that, Adam. I don't know. You're not here to rebuttal or anything, so you just shut up and listen to me. That's how this is gonna roll. Big Philly. He messaged me. Philip. Big Phil from across the hill. He had a bunch of different questions, which I don't remember all of them offhand, and I should have this more set up, more prepared, and wrote down on paper, but I don't, so just shut up and deal with it. We talked a lot about the Cavs, so I got to scroll here. Man, wow. I didn't know we talked that much about this stuff. Usually I keep this pretty cleaned out. I don't know if he really had a specific question. He just he asked a bunch of stuff, basically, just talking about Belichick, since he was a Browns man. I don't know if the Browns would be as great as the Patriots are as a dynasty if he would have stayed here. This was kind of like his learning period of how the NFL works and adjusting as a coach and learning how to coach and how he wants to run the show and have that show grow. He was a good coach for us, and he kind of got thrown out because Modell's a dipshit. So burn in hell. Wow, that's rude. I don't want to say that. But yeah, he is the GOAT of coaches currently in the NFL, even though he was just beat by a superior Eagles team. Nick Foles for the win. So I guess that brings up, I think he asked that question too. Would you go after Nick Foles since he just won the MVP, led him to the Super Bowl? I don't know how much of that I believe was Nick Foles. Yeah, he played great, but he went to a great situation. We are by far not a great situation considering we are 1-31 with a head coach that has yet to prove that he could be a head coach. I still have question marks aplenty of Hugh Jackson's merit as a head coach. He showed to be a pretty good offensive mind in Cincinnati, but I haven't seen anything. He doesn't seem to know how to put his players in the right position to succeed. He doesn't seem to know when to time clock management, play calling management was a mess, which maybe could be attributed to the fact that his team was so young and his quarterback was ignorant. So, anyway, let's get into this. That's enough with the questions. My caller will be on later, which I believe you just texted me on the, I don't have any sponsors for the show yet, so I can't sponsor out the hotline or the email. So, starting from the bottom now, maybe we'll be about here. Since we're at the bottom now, we'll get up to here. I don't think we'll ever reach this plateau, but hey, never say never. Maybe people will get into this and want to yell at me and tell me their opinions. Let's keep it kosher. Everybody has an opinion. That's the beautiful thing with sports. They pay all these people like Mel Kiper and all them millions to give their opinion, and hell, half the time they're wrong. I can be wrong half the time and right half the time. I am. I will own up to when I'm wrong. I will own up. I sure as hell know I'm going to gloat when I'm right. Like during the podcast, I said J Ram was going to be the best player in the Indians, and whenever he fell flat, and then he came out and was. So I like to bring that point up. And I called the Cavs championship the year they won when they were down 3-1. I said it's not over. We're going to come back and we're going to win it. I actually won a bet against the first caller, Robbie. So maybe I'll bring that up and just to shove it in his face, just so he knows that I'm right and he's wrong. After the fact, yes. So let's message him in. I can do that anytime. So let's go. Where do we go? Well, obviously this is the Super Bowl for the Cleveland Browns. Everybody's at 0-0, so we are undefeated at this point. So we have no losses, no wins. So we're undefeated essentially, and this is the Cleveland Browns. The best point of any season because, we haven't lost. We haven't won until we've landed a free agent or a stellar draft, which, God, we have plenty of assets to do both. So, with the money and the draft picks, plenty. The one thing that Sashi did for us, he made this team awful and tank, and I have yet another text. He's might be a little while. I'm not sure where Steve left it. Okay, whatever, Robbie. We'll get into it at some point. So he will be on. We have plenty. This is our Super Bowl. We have free agency, and we have like the second most cap space. I don't know how we don't have the first when we have nobody on this roster worth a damn. I don't know how there's a team that has more cap space than us. And it's the Niners who actually won. Well, they might not now, considering they just gave Jimmy G a fat contract. So we're actually probably back at number one now. Yeah, Jimmy G, one of the quarterbacks that I wanted in the draft, and we didn't take him. So there's that. I might have been right about that one, but hell, we might have ruined his career by now being here in Cleveland because we tend to do that. We recycle quarterbacks, coaches, GMs, even owners. So we're on our second owner since I've been a fan. So, well, no, I was around for Modell, so for the most part. So anyway, let's see here. Yeah, like I said, this is our Super Bowl. And then the draft. Oh my God, the draft. That is Cleveland's celebration because we pick in the top 5, top 2, top 3 every year, every year. And we essentially blow that pick every year. We pass on quarterbacks and trade back into the first round late and take a quarterback, or we take a quarterback in the second round and beyond, and they all end up to be what they are, ruined and trash. So that's fun. So we have a lot to delve into. Like I said, just hit me up with whatever you want. I'll just kind of spitfire for now. I don't really have a clear-cut direction to go with this first episode because it is the first episode, and I kind of want more people. I want everybody to be involved with this. I want everybody to give their opinions. If we are taking a quarterback at 1, most mock drafts have Sam Darnold as the number 1 pick. I don't agree, but I know there's people out there that probably do agree. He's got the highest ceiling, they say. He's got a big frame and a rocket arm. Sounds like Deshaun Kaiser 2.0 to me, but whatever. I'm kind of stuck between Josh Rosen. The injury concerns bother me, the shoulder and the 2 concussions. But he throws a beautiful pass, and it always seems to be on point, on the money. People say, well, he didn't win in college. Well, Aaron Rodgers played a cow and didn't really win in college either. He wasn't, there's plenty of people that come out of college that weren't like excessively great. But like Big Ben, he played at Miami of Ohio for criminy sakes, and he won Super Bowls. Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls. He played at Ole Miss. I wouldn't say they were a great dynasty college, in the college ranking world when he played. So, but, he had a great year for him statistically. I believe out of all the draftable quarterbacks this year, he was at the top with his receivers dropping the most passes. So how much more could he have done if he had reliable weapons around him? And you say, oh, he's going to come to Cleveland. He's not going to have reliable. Well, we don't know that yet. We have free agency we can tackle. We have the draft where we can add more playmakers to this team. Which everybody's on this Saquon Barkley trend. Oh, we need to take him at number 1. He's the best player. Okay, is he by far... This is like the heaviest running back draft we've had in years. And last year's was pretty legit as well. And they're saying this one surpasses last year's. So do we really need to take him at number 1 when we have so many holes and we need a quarterback, our quarterback? My opinion is if you settle on a quarterback and that quarterback you decide is your quarterback of the future and you love him, then you take him at 1 and you don't risk losing him. Anybody could trade out at any point and decide that they want to move up in place of the Giants or the Colts and take him in front of you, and you could be like, oh, well, I guess we should have taken him at 1, but we didn't, so we got to go to backup plan. And I don't think we're going to land a Kirk Cousins. We're probably going to get the quarterback tracker is high on A.J. McCarron, who's been irrelevant and done nothing to... Oh, now the wife's texting me while I'm trying to do a show, so that's fun. Yes. So here we go. Yeah, I'm married, by the way, in case there's people that don't know me that are watching this. So I don't know how that's relevant, but you can flirt with me still. Just don't tell her. I'm joking. So if we don't get, we're gonna get A.J. McCarron, so we're still gonna need a quarterback. That's our quarterback, and I don't know. Maybe you think, oh, Kaiser can still develop. The main point with what I just said there was could still develop, can still develop. Doesn't mean he will. Doesn't mean he won't. But it doesn't mean he will. And we could take a quarterback, and it doesn't mean he will either. But I figure with the more the merrier, the less likely we are to fail, and possibly we could succeed for once in our miserable lives. So, like I said, I'm stuck on Rosen, and my other quarterback that I'm stuck on, that he's actually got a hell of a lot of hype, more than Rosen even. I think Darnold's and Baker Mayfield have the most hype right now, just because he's one of those guys, he's exciting to watch. He's not afraid to speak his mind. He's energetic. He knows how to lead a team, but he has his faults. His main fault that everybody likes to bring up is that he's 6 foot. He's not tall. Drew Brees isn't tall. I wouldn't say Russell Wilson's incredibly tall. Of course, he's not as athletic as Russell Wilson, but he's still athletic. He can move around. But the one thing I noticed with him that scares me, if you watch that game against Georgia, they applied the pressure to him, and he looked terribly awful. He looked like he danced around too much. He didn't know where to go, and that's skittish. You don't want to deal with that. You want someone that's on point, but you're not always going to be like that. So you put a great line. And I would say the Browns have. I wouldn't say we have the best, but we have a above average line, and they started to come around towards the end of the season. You see, and they couldn't get everybody on the field at the same exact time, which really killed us, and it didn't help one bit. So that was rough. But if we can get Joe Thomas to come back, then you have the best left tackle in the game blocking. Joel Bitonio, wow, ramble, uh, one of the highest paid guards. I wouldn't say he's the best guard, but he's definitely one of the top 5 guards, easily. At center, J.C. Treader, he kind of, I wouldn't say he was phenomenal, but he came along towards the end of the year. He seems to know what he's doing, calling out, like, hey, the blitz is coming from here, there, blah, blah, blah. You have Zeitler on the other side of him, so you got 2 fantastic top 5 guards right there. Your interior line, right, those 4 alone, fantastic. That's great. Your only question mark is at right tackle, and we've seen some growth from Sean Coleman. We've seen some awfulness from Sean Coleman, but it was his first year legitly playing. And we have other people we could possibly plug in there. We could draft a tackle. We could take someone else to bring in to compete with him and push him more and more. So I'm not against that. And right there, you got a great line. So now what do you do to help that line, to help your quarterback make this team better? Well, Crowell's gone. His tenure here was, oh man, this guy, this is his breakout year. This is his breakout year. He's got all the tools. You see from him, he can make big runs. Then you come into the year, he does nothing. And then at the end of the year, he turns it on. And then the following year, you go, oh, this is the year where he puts it all together consistently. And Isaiah Crowell leads us. Well, that never panned out. I don't have anything personally against Crowell. I think his best option would be to leave Cleveland and go to a team, fresh start, and show that he can be that number 1 workhorse running back that puts up great numbers. A lot of his problem was, he didn't put up the greatest of averages at times, but hell, half the time we were losing by 2-3 touchdowns, and we went into full straight, hey, let's just pass mode, let's just give up on the run. We knew we weren't going to win anyway. I don't know why we gave up on the run, because this team can't win with Hugh Jackson, so just, keep running your offense legitly and try to get everybody rolling, and then maybe the next game would go a little bit better. But what do I know? I'm not an NFL head coach. I'm not in the NFL. If I was, I'd probably be a lot happier, but I'm not. I make milk. No one gives a shit. Then we need weapons. That's what everybody like to say about Kaiser. Well, if you give him weapons. If he has nothing, he's throwing to nobody. Everybody drops the passes. They're all terrible. Well, 90% of his interceptions and turnovers were not because of drop passes. Some of them were. I'll give you that. And he did have drop passes, and no one legitly stood up. But then Josh Gordon came back, and we saw the same bullshit from Kaiser that we saw. He has 0 touch. I'm not sure he can read an NFL defense consistently or at all. I don't know, but it doesn't look like it. I think one of the knocks on him coming out of college was he has small eyes, and the terminology for that would be he doesn't always see the field and where the defenders are going, where they're going to be. But I think his biggest problem is he has 0 touch. He showed, I think, maybe one game where he had, like, his touch was, like, he said, oh, I'm going to work on my touch, and then he came out, and it was perfect. And then the following game after that, it was like it completely disappeared again. Whatever. So, you add weapons there. You can have Josh Gordon come back, but he's a roll of the dice. Is he going to stay off drugs? Insert smoke weed every day. We used to play that on the podcast every time we talked Josh Gordon. Smoke weed every day. Hopefully he got his life together and things are better for him, because we sure as hell need him. Corey Coleman, still waiting for him to develop into a number 1. Hell, I'd take a number 2 receiver out of Corey Coleman. He shows so much potential at times. Other times you don't even see him on the tape. It's like he doesn't get open, or he drops passes, or he's sitting on the sidelines nursing yet another injury because he's tiny. Therein lies, I wouldn't want to move him to the slot. Some say, oh, you get another big receiver. You put Gordon, insert big receiver on the outside. You play Coleman in the slot. I don't think he could take a hit across the middle, and then we would not have a slot receiver unless we draft or sign several. So I kind of like to leave Coleman at 1 or 2. So that's that. So there's many ways we could go with this. Obviously, if we draft one of those two, or any quarterback for that matter, they should sit the entire year. I don't care who you bring in as your veteran. I think we should rock with the veteran and let these guys at least grow. I don't know if you want to do it the Jared Goff way. I think they had Keenum start that year. I think it was him. And they went with him for that tidbit before they gave the keys to him. Or if you just want to go 1-2 seasons with veteran, if they can sustain the job. But I think we need a veteran that is coming in and everybody knows that guy's going to start. But not a complete open, closed door. So you give some hope to Kaiser and the number 1 overall pick and say, hey, you can take this job, possibly. But I don't think there's a quarterback that said, oh, well, that guy deserves the keys right away. If any of them, I would give the keys to Rosen possibly right away, if he shows that he can be that guy. Maybe even Baker. I don't know. I'd have to see more out of him. I'm excited for the scouting combine. That's where we'll really know. You'll start to see the chips fall into place as to who likes who the most, and people, after the interviews and you get to meet people, Baker's got the Johnny Manziel stigma attached to him from that lazy bullshit article from Grossi and other clowns. He's not Johnny Manziel. He doesn't play like Johnny Manziel. Just because he has a lot of passion for the sport doesn't mean he's Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel was a drunken, drug addict head case that was supposedly a bipolar. I don't know if I even believe that bullshit story nowadays. I think it's more him just trying to, oh, I was wrong, I was bipolar, I just found out. So give me a second chance, third chance, whatever chance he's on. I don't know. There's that. And the whole crotch grabbing thing with Baker Mayfield, who's to say he's just not really a giant Michael Jackson fan and he was doing the moonwalk the wrong way. He grabbed his crotch first and then he walked forward and grabbed his crotch. If you play that video clip backwards, then he grabs his crotch and then looks like he moonwalks backwards. Go ahead and try it out. Maybe he's just really big into Michael Jackson. Maybe he wasn't being mouthy. Anyway, I'm going to take a quick break. I don't know if there will be a commercial in here at this point. Probably not. But, I change shit on the fly, so who knows. Come back. This kind of went on for 28 minutes. Hopefully I'll come back with my phone caller, and then maybe I'll come back, talk for a little bit, and we'll wrap it up. I don't know how long I want this to go. If you guys kind of have a time frame you would like these to be, hit me up, let me know. Anyway, I'll be right back. Welcome back to the Huddle Is Real with me, Kyle Dunlap, same ugly face you saw before. I'm here with my first caller, Robbie Patterson from the AK Rowdy. Robbie and the AK Rowdy, you're on. Let us know what you want to talk.
Let's talk about, let's do a little bit of free agency mock.
Okay, free agency mock.
And let's focus on, let's say we're only going to sign 3 higher profile guys.
Mm-hmm.
I would say probably the 2 positions aside from quarterback, because that's obvious, but let's face it, we're not going to land Kirk Cousins.
We're not going to land a high profile guy at quarterback. We're going to get stuck with an A.J. McCarron.
Yeah, exactly. So let's go with 3 positions that I feel we really need to improve upon. One is cornerback, one is safety, and the other one is going to be wide receiver.
Would that be free safety, I presume you're speaking?
Yeah, I do believe so. I believe he is a free safety.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jabril will be kept strong, but he'll probably play more in a box kind of role where he can kind of move. So, but that's just my assumption of what Greg will do. But anyway, you can proceed.
First off, Malcolm Butler is going to be a free agent, obviously.
Yeah, his time's done. I don't even understand why they didn't play him, but that's the Patriots, so who knows?
Yeah, they cut their own throat on that one, so we're saying he's going to be our number one corner. We're going to keep Buddy Calhoun as the number 2.
I'm cool with that. I wouldn't be opposed to bringing McCourty back. He played great.
No, McCourty played really well, too. McCourty can play as a nickel, though.
Mm-hmm, yes.
So let's go with that signing. The next one is going to be Kenny Vaccaro.
Mm-hmm.
I really like him. I'm a big Kenny Vaccaro fan.
Yeah, I like Kenny, but he kind of fizzled out with the Saints and lost his job, so that kind of scares me.
Change of scenery might do him good.
Yeah, possibly. I'm more of I'd like to get Greg to get somebody he already knows, like a Trumaine Johnson, or no, a LaMarcus Joyner type guy, kind of a ball hawk. I think that would go a big way with our team. But he's just kind of undersized, so, but we'll see how that all shakes out.
All right, and then I would really like if he even becomes a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Jarvis Landry would be our target. Should be our number 1 target. There is some good receiving talent in the mid rounds of the draft that should be available.
Yeah, I'm not really too sure how that's all going to shake out, but somebody I wouldn't mind getting late would be like an Anthony Miller. I think we could get him in like the 2nd or 3rd rounds, but there's other people.
I'm pretty big on a couple guys. Auden Tate, Simi Cobbs Jr. Simi Cobbs Jr. looks really good.
Yeah, I like Tate and Cobbs Jr. also, so I think they'd be great pieces to bring in. And then you have a Gordon would be your. I'm assuming you would play him at 1, and then kind of rotate Coleman around with.
No, Coleman's not even on the roster.
Coleman will be on the roster. I don't know where you're getting that from, but he'll be around.
He's not going to be on the roster. He's going to be gone.
They're not going to get rid of him. No, he'll stay.
No, he's gone.
Okay, in your world he's gone, but in the real world when he's on the Browns next year.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll have to do a follow-up on this.
Yeah, but it's basically opinions, and everybody has their opinions, and sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong, sometimes you're Mel Kiper and you get paid millions to be bullshit.
You know what? Sometimes, it's just kind of the way it is, but that's how it's going to be. So just letting you know.
Okay, well, whenever you're wrong, I'll make sure I bring that up.
Just make sure you bring it up when I'm right.
Okay, that's fine. I will. But do we remember who was right whenever someone said the Cavs were done when they were down 3-1, and someone else said that they were going to come?
Right.
Yes, I was.
I got man enough to admit it.
I got beer.
Unlike you.
I will admit when I was wrong, and I was wrong. Remember last year I said Deshaun Watson would not turn out to be anything? Boy, was I wrong about him.
Well, you technically weren't wrong. He played good for a few weeks, and he didn't really have a chance for defenses to figure him out.
Yeah, I don't really know if I want to say I was wrong yet, because he still threw a lot of picks, but he also made a lot of big plays. But he had
a lot of good plays.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
I would say that I'm incomplete on that one. But another one I was right about was Jose Ramirez.
Yes.
I said he was going to be one of the best players on the Indians, and hell, he was in the MVP race.
I think I was on your side with that one, actually.
Oh, actually, I think you disagreed with me. You said he would be okay. But you would.
Serviceable might have been the word I used.
Yeah, that is your word. If anybody knows anything about Robbie, which he will be on this show several times as a caller, hell, maybe he'll be able to pop in and he will be on the video with me. You can see that beautiful blind-eyed face. And but anyway, he will use the word serviceable for about everything.
It's a nice generic term.
Yep, that's true. Just like when you talk about a white, feisty wide receiver, you call him a gym rat.
Oh, okay. I learned a new term today.
Yeah, that's from the league.
So is that Jake Winicky? Is that what we're going to call him?
Cooper Kupp. Wes Welker.
Cup. Yeah.
Okay, anyway, you can continue with your talk, and I kind of cut over you.
That's okay. Probably probably, since we have 3 acquisitions that are going to help propel us.
Okay, that's your team so far.
What's that?
That's your team right there. That's your big acquisitions, which I'm cool with some of them. I would probably plug and play other names, possibly. I have a board with other people that I predict that I would want. Alex Smith was my quarterback that I wanted, and that didn't work out.
Well, we're going off the assumption that A.J. McCarron's the quarterback, correct?
Yeah, because he's number 1 on the quarterback tracker.
Yeah, he's unfortunately going to be our quarterback.
I'd prefer a Tyrod Taylor.
I would prefer Landry Jones just strictly because he is familiar with Todd Haley's system. He's been around it long enough, so who knows if he would actually play worth a crap, which probably wouldn't, but at least he'd be able to mentor whoever the quarterback is here, whether it be a rookie or another veteran we sign. I think that Landry Jones should be a top priority.
Yeah, I don't even know if he's not even a free agent, I don't know.
No, but I heard through the grapevine that he was going to be a cap casualty, so.
Yeah, it's possible. They got Dobbs, even though Dobbs showed that he was garbage.
Yeah, Dobbs wasn't as great as I think everyone anticipated. But
yeah, I expected more out of him, and he looked rough, so.
Yeah.
But, like I said, opinions, sports, everybody's got one. You're not always right, you're not always wrong.
So let's do the first 2 picks in the draft.
Okay, so your first 2 picks in the mock draft, I already know how you're probably going to go with this.
Barkley at 1 and Mayfield at 4, as long as Mayfield's available. If Mayfield happens to not be available, then I'm all for trading down and going and getting Orlando Brown, the offensive tackle from Oklahoma.
Okay. So,
and I view Barkley as the best player in the draft, and I feel that you can probably do better at quarterback, maybe with a Rosen or a Darnold, but if they truly don't want to come here, why do I want them here if they don't want to be here? Even if they play well,
they never essentially came out and said,
and then decide they're going to leave. What's the purpose in that?
Rosen just said that in a perfect world, people would want to go where they fit better, and but that's not the way that this works. You go to where, and I think once Dorsey sits down with them and they have a chit chat and they realize, hey, I'll play anywhere I get drafted. That's cool. My biggest concern with Rosen is the 2 concussions and the shoulder injury, but even then, that dude throws a freaking beautiful ball.
Yeah, I don't like either of them. So.
Yeah, I don't like Darnold, so we're at least in agreement with that.
Yeah.
I think he's basically a Deshaun Kaiser 2.0.
Yes.
He's got everything they say about him is what they said about Kaiser.
That's refreshing, isn't it?
Also, the same with Josh Allen. When everybody was trying to say, oh, Josh Allen could be the number 1 pick, that guy is Deshaun Kaiser-esque.
He's very inaccurate.
He needs, 3 to 4 years of growth before I'd even consider him.
Yeah.
And we don't have time for that in Cleveland because...
No. I'd like to win. I have season tickets now.
Yeah, you do have season tickets now. Is Sala going to go?
No. You're probably going to go to at least 1 or 2 games if you can get out of work. And
yeah.
I anticipate taking my wife to at least 1 or 2 games, and she bought the tickets. And I'll have to find other people to go with me, which might be quite the chore, but we'll see.
I don't think it would be too hard. And if it comes down to it and you're busy, I'm sure you wouldn't have too many problems selling the tickets. Hell, if they're even playing a team that's good that you'd rather go watch, you can probably work that route.
Yeah, possibly, but I anticipate I'm going to all of the games.
Yeah, that would be nice, being a season ticket holder now.
Yeah, for sure.
That would be...
It's a pretty cool gift, even though the Browns are awful.
Yeah.
That's still my team, and I still enjoy them, and I'll still go to the games.
So after Hugh Jackson's fired when we go 0-4, what coach would you want to bring in?
I think that Haley's going to end up taking over and being the interim coach the rest of the year. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I would assume that's the route that they would go to. So, but I'm not saying that Hugh's going to get fired right out of the way. If he can somehow...
I don't think they start 0-4 either.
I don't think so either.
They start off 2-4, and they'll end up 5-11, as long as all of the changes that I've suggested come to fruition. I think they'll go 5-11, and then they'll get rid of Hugh at the end of the year.
I think if they can win anywhere from 6 to 8 games, they might actually keep Hugh.
Yeah, I could see that. I could totally see that.
Hell, even if they win 5, they might even hold on to him and say, hey, we'll give you another chance since you actually came in and won 5 football games. And
we'll have to see what happens after the first probably 2 or 3 weeks of preseason. We'll have a really good gauge, I think, on what we're dealing with, and we'll be able to see growth in whatever quarterback we have.
Yeah.
And with the offense, and because the offense, I think, was the issue. I think the defense played soft, but I don't think they were 100% the issue. I think it was a lot of lack of talent at the wide receiver and not giving Isaiah Crowell enough chance to do his thing.
Our defense did give up over like 30 points a game every game, so
I
wouldn't take them off the hook completely. They played great at times, but other times they were just too prone to giving up the big plays, and that was with Jabril playing out of position and the ignorant penalties. It's like they played like a team that has never played football before. It's like, oh, I'm just going to commit a penalty and act like I'm not going to get busted.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
Okay. Is that what we're doing here? You dumb sons of bitches. I don't know what to think. But this is our Super Bowl. It's the off season. We're going to spend some money. We were the team with the second highest cap, but I think we're up to first now after Jimmy.
I think after San Francisco signed Garoppolo, we have the most.
Jimmy G got that big fat deal, and because he could have been in Cleveland, but unfortunate for us, he didn't want to come here. And the Patriots were like, being a good organization, we're like, let's be good to our guys and send him where he wants to go. Much like with Alex Smith, they let him. They went to Alex Smith, Mahomes getting the keys now, and they say, hey, these are the 2 offers we like. Which team would you rather go to? And he said, well, I sure as hell ain't going to fucking Cleveland.
Exactly. It's just, if you don't want to be the guy, I don't want you here.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm very intrigued with Mayfield, and I think that even if Mayfield can just be above serviceable, like let's call him a B-, I think it'll help this team tenfold. I think they might even get to 6 wins with Mayfield at quarterback, but that's me being really positive.
Oh, God, I really don't want to have to start a rookie this year. I don't want to have to even have this discussion until like the end of the season when the starter gets hurt or they decide to, hey, let's give the rookie some reps.
Yeah.
But I don't want to have this discussion until like the following season. They go 5-11 and it's like, hey, that rookie has shown lots of progress. Let's see if he can win the job this season. Legitly. And that's only if you have like an AJ McCarron. Well, any quarterback we end up with is going to be to that point. Let's say by some miracle of a chance we land Kirk Cousins.
7-9.
Okay. Do you take a quarterback at 1?
No, you do not take one at 1. You're still taking Barkley regardless of what you do.
Yeah, see, that's where I actually agree with you. That is the only way I take Barkley, is if we get Kirk Cousins. So we at least are in agreement here. Because if you get Kirk Cousins, he's still 29. If you build a solid team around him, he's going to play several years. And after he leads the Browns to the playoffs in the second year, we're going to build a gold statue of him out front. So that's just the way it's going to go.
I would love nothing more than that.
Could you? And that's what everybody talks about. Oh, he's worried about his legacy. Could you imagine being the fucking quarterback of the Browns that actually leads them to being a winning football team? You would be an instant legend. You would surpass LeBron. You would surpass LeBron in Cleveland as the number 1 guy.
Yes, you most definitely would.
And people would argue with me and say, no, LeBron's still the guy. No. The Browns fan base is bigger than the Cavs fan base by far. It's bigger than the Cavs and the Indians probably combined. And if that guy comes in and leads the Browns to the playoffs and ultimately eventually the Super Bowl and is a winning quarterback, that guy will be loved and adored and treated like a freaking god. He will be the Zeus of Cleveland.
That might be a little bit of a stretch.
It's not a stretch.
I would say the dude would never buy a drink here in town again.
No, he wouldn't even have to think about it. Hell, I don't even care if he doesn't even move to Cleveland. He wants to live in some other state because, let's face it, Ohio weather's garbage. But anyway, I just want a quarterback that's going to come here and lead this team to not being a cesspool, which is what I've dealt with forever.
Which you've complained about forever, which you were totally right and justified in doing so.
Yeah, I'm totally justified to complain about them because I have to watch that nonsense. And the fact that I've even watched other teams and adored their players makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, you're a Vikings fan, so...
No, I was an Adam Thielen fan, not a Vikings fan, and I was a Cooper Kupp fan. You know, those gym rats.
Yeah, you love...
now,
the Vikings and Rams.
Now
I can't imagine what would have happened if they'd played and met in the playoffs. You probably would have had a mind explosion.
Yeah, I don't know. I wanted the Vikings and the Jaguars in the Super Bowl, but I didn't get that.
No, you didn't even get part of that, so that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I feel like if we could end up like the Jaguars, though, if we make the right pieces. You build a dominant defense, and then
I think you're very close on the dominant defense part.
I think you're closer if Myles Garrett can provide to stay healthy and not be.
Yes, he's got to stay healthy.
And Browns, True Luck, our number one pick, who has shown to be an athletic freak, got hurt the entire year. Well, off and on throughout the entire year.
Yeah.
And just when him and Ogba started getting a rhythm together, Ogba breaks his foot. Or was it his leg? It was his foot, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Would you be against taking a Bradley Chubb at 4?
Yes, I would. We need offense. We don't need defense right now. This is an offensive league.
I'm saying...
I feel like our defense is... turn the corner and they're very close.
If John Dorsey decides he wants a quarterback at 1, what do you take at 4?
If Barkley's there at 4, I take Barkley.
If that's a big if, but I actually think he would fall to 4. The way I have it playing out in my head is the Giants would take Rosen, and then the Colts would take Chubb, and that's not counting out trades, so Barkley would still be available.
Well, if that worked out, I guess that would be better than what we've had in the previous years.
Mm-hmm. And I would possibly take him there, but I don't know. There's other guys I like, so I'm not really completely stuck on Barkley, but that's the difference of opinions. Hell, this call's gone almost 20 minutes. We should probably wrap it up. And I should probably be better at watching time frames on this.
Yes, that would be a really good thing because I'm about 15 over what I had planned on.
Yep.
So my material got very stale towards the end. You might have to trim some of that out.
Oh no, we're gonna keep it all. I want the listeners to know just how stale Robbie Patterson from Akron is. Anyway, thanks for being on.
Having me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, and I'm sure you'll be on if this continues. I don't know if anybody's gonna like it. But,
definitely.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
That was the first caller here on the Huddle Is Real, Mr. Roberto Patterson from the AK Rowdy. I don't think I want to make 20-minute calls again, but we'll see how that goes. When you start talking football, you just can't shut it off. So hold your butts and come back. Hopefully we'll be back with another call or a wrap-up. We'll see how this works out. And we're back on The Huddle Is Real with me, Mr. Dunlap, Kyle, whatever you want to call me, asshat, idiot, shitface. I don't care. In terms of endearment, I don't care. We just had our first caller. Thanks, Rob from Akron, for joining us here. If you would like to call into the show and you know me personally, hit up those digits. If you don't know me personally and this thing's going to take off, I am looking into getting an actual phone for the show. so I can have everybody be a part of this. I would like to get people's mock drafts, and then I will put those in on the next episode of the Huddle Is Real. It'll be more balanced. The next episode we'll have a better game plan, how this is going to go, time frames, phone calls, all that jazz. This is kind of flying by the seat of my pants since it's the very first episode. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you want to take part in this, hit me up on Facebook. I'll be posting this on Facebook. You can private message me your question, your mock draft. You can leave your mock draft and your question in the comments. I'm also going to be putting this up on my YouTube channel for this, so you can hit me up there. The Huddle Is Real. It'll be there. If you want to leave a comment there, like the video, share it with your friends so other people can watch it, and maybe they want to be a part of this. I kind of want to grow this thing. You know, it doesn't have to be fast. I don't think that I'm going to get 7,000 views or even close to 100 likes or anything crazy like that. But, you know, I enjoy talking sports. I enjoy talking the Browns. I enjoy talking the NFL. If you're not a Browns fan and you just want to talk about your team, I'm in for that too. I will give my point on your team. We can discuss discuss that. Sorry, voice is cutting out. So don't be afraid to get a hold. Product placement. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I have nobody sponsoring me right now. I have one in the works, and possibly some after that, but we'll see how everything shakes out. But I just want to thank you all for those that do watch the video and contribute and leave me comments. You know, let me know things I could do different. Maybe you hate the intro song, I could change that up. Whatever, it doesn't matter to me. So I just want everybody to have fun with this. I'm having fun. I like talking. I like proving my point, even if it's wrong, because, you know, no one's right 100% of the time. I don't, you know, this is kind of my hobby. I do this, you know, this isn't my job, of course. Like I said earlier, I make milk. That's my job. I'm a dad, so that's my #1 job, is those things. But I enjoy talking football. So college, you want to talk college, we'll talk college. NFL, any team, I don't care. Mostly going to stick to the Browns for now, but I'm not ruling anything out. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to do this because, you know, with the other aspects of life, but I'm going to try my hardest to put out a couple a week. And, you know, anytime you want to watch them, they'll be available on YouTube and Facebook. So don't be afraid, you know, give me a like, subscribe, all that jazz, share it, leave a comment. Come back anytime. I enjoyed having you.